It's NFL week number 15, and the playoff picture is coming together. Teams are dropping out. Teams are fighting and jockeying for position, and I am in my room doing power rankings. Let's get into it. You might be watching HillTimeSports, but at number 10, we got to give it to the Houston Texans, who gave Patrick Mahomes his worst performance of his career. 3 interceptions. And in my opinion, this is the best defense in the NFL, only allowing 16 points per game. With General Mills, they won a few games, and now, with CJ Stroud back, they are 1 game away from the division lead. And now, the reckless driver in Kansas City knows exactly what it feels like to get a hit and run on them. Offensively, they just have to be good enough in order to win games because his defense carries. Stroud was an inefficient 15 for 31, but Woody Marks and Agunbowale scored for Houston, and that defense carried. How far they make it depends on just how good this offense can do and pick up the slack a little bit. This week, they play the Cardinals, who are an easy game. But we know every week is any given Sunday, so we shall see. Moving on to number 9, and I would love to put them higher, but they're just teams that are better than them, standings-wise. The Buffalo Bills in the snow against the Cincinnati Bengals in a must-win game. Let's take our hats off for Christian Benford, who had that pick 6 on Joey Burrow, who tried to slide in a little screen pass to Jamar Chase. The defense was opportunistic, picking off Burrow 2 plays in a row. The only thing that topped that was Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts turning the ball over twice in 1 play. Allen, in my opinion, has been turning up the heat as the weeks have gone on, and if he could put on his Superman cape instead of his stupid duck cape, I think the Bills have a chance to win. They don't have a number 1 receiver, but James Cook is really good, even though he was afraid of the end zone this week. Josh Allen had a 40-yard touchdown run and threw an absolute laser to Khalil Shakir. Threw 3 touchdowns. Now, it just depends on where they're seated and if one of these receivers can step up every week and show that they have number 1 potential. This week, the Bills got the Patriots, and it's going to be a huge game for both teams. And we'll get to the Patriots, but the Bills desperately need to win this game. Chicago, you broke my heart. I, like the Pope, have been rooting for you to win. In the second half against Green Bay, you guys looked okay. Caleb Williams needs to make better throws, but he had his career best throw when he launched the ball to Cole Kmet for a first down. It looks really good. It was on the run. You want to see that, but you also want to see him throw better from the pocket. The running game was stifled, showing that the Packers, unlike the Eagles, can stop a leaky faucet. The defense also allowed 28 points, only had one sack, and C.J. Gardner-Johnson's 1 interception. They're opportunistic on defense, but they just didn't get it done against Green Bay, who's a really good team. The negative 1 point differential is going to hurt in the long run if the Green Bay Packers don't lose a few games and the Bears lose against Green Bay. And even if the Green Bay Packers lose to the Bears, well, they're going to be on top of them for the division win. And at number 7, we have the San Francisco 49ers. My mistake. And in a year where they are hurt and occupying the local hospital wing, they desperately needed this bye. Ricky Pearsall's back. Juwan Jennings is back. You got Purdy, although some people are saying that Purdy needs to be benched for Mac Jones because he doesn't have the arm strength that Mac Jones has. But last week, Brock Purdy did have an efficient game, only threw 1 touchdown, but no interceptions. McCaffrey has been the glue for this team. I think he's an MVP candidate because without him, the season is completely toast. You saw what happened last year. But Kyle Shanahan's group is playing really well. Even with the loss of Fred Warner and Nick Bosa, the defense just continues to play well enough to win these ball games. They're 9-4 and in play for the division lead come This week, they play the Tennessee Titans, who they could beat up on to their heart's content. Trevor Lawrence, though, when he doesn't play like a Madden character that a 5-year-old is controlling, is actually really, really good. He looked polished, making some great throws. Sure, the defense didn't have to face Daniel Jones, but Devin Lloyd has notched 5 interceptions. Brian Thomas Jr. has finally gotten his hands out of the cement truck and learned how to catch the ball. And Jacoby Myers has been the best trade deadline trade of this season. I think this team is dangerous if they get into the playoffs. I think Liam Cohen was the right signing. Even though people were pissed off that Peterson had to go, Liam Cohen has taken this team and done something magical with them. Can they maintain the lead against the Houston Texans? This week, they play the Jets. The Jets are not a good team, so have at it, Jaguars. The ball is in your court. But who knew the Seattle Seahawks would be right there in the NFC? But here we are in Week 15. I didn't expect them to be this good. They're like an ingrown toenail for the Los Angeles Rams. JSN, after doing absolutely nothing against the Minnesota Vikings, went out and had 92 yards and 2 touchdowns against the Atlanta Falcons. This game was close for a while, as close as two lovers can get. But then the Seahawks opened the floodgates and released their version of the Kraken in a 37-9 rout and corner. Nick Emenwari, the second-round draft pick, is having a Rookie of the Year type season, picking off Kirk Cousins in one of the best plays of the week. This week, they play the Colts, but you know that game on December 18th is circled on the calendar for the Los Angeles Rams. Number 4, you got the Green Bay Packers, who took care of business against the Chicago Bears. And although they almost screwed the pooch, Josh Jacobs was actually really good running the football. Had over 80 yards and a touchdown. Love did throw that early interception, but also taught us if you throw on the back foot, at least convert it for a touchdown by throwing it to Christian Watkins. 2 touchdowns for Watkins. This defense didn't get very many sacks. I think they only got 1. I feel like the defense did a really good job of stifling this running game of the Chicago Bears that put the Eagles on ice. If this Packers team can play efficiently for the rest of the season, they're going to be huge trouble for everyone else in the NFC. But they got a huge game against the Denver Broncos, and we'll get to them in a second. But first, we have to address the number 3 team. The number 3 team in almost every one of my power rankings has lost. This week, it's the Los Angeles Rams, who had a bounce-back game against the Arizona Cardinals after falling to the Carolina Panthers. They beat Arizona 45-17, and Matthew Stafford continues to be on an MVP pace. Corbin Williams had a combined 200 yards rushing. Nakua had 2 touchdowns, showing he's as unguardable as Brock Lesnar against WWE security. 3 sacks against the Cardinals, and they beat down Brissett like he had just committed a crime, but the only crime he's ever committed is being an Arizona Cardinals quarterback. The Rams are extremely underrated on defense. Nate Landman had a pick this week. They are the best team in the NFC still, and will have a chance to show that against the Detroit Lions this week. At number 2, and they didn't play any games this week, and they haven't had the hardest schedule, but the New England Patriots are your number 2 team in 2025. Drake May has continued to be the best quarterback in the 2024 NFL Draft. Trevion Henderson has emerged as a reliable target for Drake May and a reliable runner. They are top 5 in points allowed. They are one of the best in the NFL on defense. And yes, they played the Jets and the Giants and other bad teams, but it's not like the Patriots are not known to play bad teams. I'm looking at you, AFC East from 2001 all the way to 2019. They have made a history of beating up on bad teams and then going into the playoffs and beating up on good teams. So we'll see how good the Patriots are when they play Buffalo this week. Don't really have a lot to say about them because they didn't play, but this is a must-win for Buffalo, and I think it's a must-win for the Patriots, who some people may say are fraud because of their schedule. But finally, we got the Denver Broncos again sitting in first place on top of Mile High on the mountain against the Raiders. They were up 24-7 when they let the dogs off. But if it were me, I'd bust a C. Montgomery Burns and say, release the hounds. RJ Harvey looked really good. This probably his best game, 75 yards. And Bo Nix has elevated his play every week since that Raiders game on Thursday night. Marvin Mims had himself a punt return touchdown. This team is really good. Bo Nix didn't throw any touchdowns, but defensively, they've been darn good. I think they have 55 sacks. Defensive front has dropped in pressures to 5th or 4th, but that's still really good. It's still top 10 in the NFL. If they continue to play the way they've been playing and Bo Nix continues to develop, this team is a Super Bowl contender as soon as this year. This week, they got Green Bay. It's a huge game. Playoff implications, obviously, for both teams. They both have to win. But do you agree with what I have to say? Do you agree with the top teams that I have? Who's your number one team? Let me know in the comments. Did I get it wrong? Like and subscribe. I'm almost to 200 subscribers. And this is HillTimeSports. See you later. Adios. Stay blessed. Boom.